All right, welcome back to Wittenberg Academy's Greek 1 course. Continuing on with Lesson 10, it's on page 36, here in Gleason's Greek Primer. Section 122, the perfect and pluperfect tenses have a reduplication, which is the sign of completed action. Reduplication is found in all the moods, augment in the indicative only. Most verbs beginning with a single consonant are reduplicated by prefixing that consonant, followed by epsilon. So, taking our normal paradigm verb luo, its perfect is leluka. So you can see how it's formed. You take the stem, lu, you reduplicate the first letter with epsilon, le, and of course he's just putting that hyphen there for you to see how it's formed. It's not actually spelled with a hyphen. So you've got the reduplication plus your stem plus the kappa and then these endings, and you'll need to turn to page 263. Page 263, and there you can see at section 699 the active voice of luo all laid out for us there. And now we're looking at the perfect, so the singular, first person singular is leluka. And then second person, lelukas, third person, leluka. We're not learning the dual in this class right now. That doesn't occur very often in the age of Greek that we're learning, so we'll leave that for another time. In the plural, lelukamen, lelukamen, lelukata, lelukasi. So your endings a, as, e, amen, ata, asi. A, as, e, amen, ata, asi. With your reduplication, your stem, your kappa, then those endings. So obviously you need to make a copy of this form for you to study off of, make a paradigm card. And then likewise, while we're here on page 263, let's look at the pluperfect. Eleluke. Eleluke. So to form the pluperfect, on the front of your stem, or rather we might say take your perfect stem, which is your reduplication plus your normal stem plus your kappa for the perfect, so leluk, and then add an epsilon on the front, that temporal augment that occurs in the imperfect. It occurs also here in the pluperfect. And then your endings for the pluperfect are a, ace, a, emen, eta, eson. A, ace, a, emen, eta, ason. Obviously, you need to make a paradigm card to learn the pluperfect as well. Okay, back to page 36. You translate the perfect I have loosed, leluka, I have loosed. But a rough, now if there are a couple changes, that's for a nice normal consonant. But now he's going to explain to you if you've got a verb that begins with an aspirate, like thuo, then so theta reduplicates with a tau. So you don't get thethuka, you get tethuka. Tethuka, I have sacrificed. He'll give us some more examples down here. Verbs beginning with two consonants, except the mute and a liquid. Don't worry about that. We'll get to in a second. With a double consonant or with rho, have the syllabic augment, that is, they augment just with an epsilon. So, for example, zeteka, it's edzeteka for zeteo. Zeteo means I seek, and it goes to edzeteka. So that's interesting. So zeta doesn't reduplicate because it's a double consonant. It's the sound of a delta plus sigma, ze. And so it reduplicates just with an epsilon. And then here you've got an epsilon stem vowel, zeteo. And so that epsilon gets lengthened to an eta. So you get zete. Then you get your kappa. And then your endings. Edzetica. Strateuo, if you like. Make an expedition, or to set out on an armed expedition, that is. So it's perfect. You don't reduplicate double consonants. They just get an epsilon. So instead of stestra or stratoica, you just get estratoica. But grapho gets gegrapha, so that the rho doesn't duplicate, but the gamma does. Rho is just kind of almost treated like a vowel in Greek. And so you just reduplicate the first consonant, gegrapha. And that's also an irregular perfect. Obviously doesn't have the kappa, gegrapha. Okay. All verbs beginning with rho double that letter in prefixing the syllabic augment. So ripto, I throw, the pluperfect becomes erifa. In verbs beginning with a short vowel or a diphthong, the reduplication takes the form of the temporal augment, that is the epsilon augment. So ago, the perfect, becomes echa. Oikeo, live, the perfect becomes oikeka. Oikeka. So if it starts with a vowel, you lengthen the vowel, basically, to get the reduplication. When the perfect has reduplication, the pluperfect prefixes the epsilon augment, the syllabic augment, to the reduplication, as in lelica, the pluperfect becomes elaluke. In other cases, the pluperfect retains the augment of the perfect. So, estratoica, I have led an expedition. Pluperfect becomes estratoike, I had led an expedition. So learn the perfect and pluperfect indicative active of luo on page 699, which we already looked at. Form in the same way these tenses of thuo. So that's going to be tethuka. Keloio, or keluo, is going to be keleuka, kekaleuka. Pio is going to be pepaika. Thereo is going to be tethereuka. Koluo is going to be kekoluka. Add your ke, right? Reduplicate, then your stem, then a kappa, then the ending. Reduplication, stem, kappa, and the perfect endings. For the pluperfect, take your epsilon added to a perfect stem plus the pluperfect endings. So it's very, almost mathematical. It's just add the pieces together to get the tense you want. So you need to memorize how do I form this, and then memorize the endings. Some vocabulary. Dele, hey dele, the afternoon. Hey kore is a girl. Hey Nasos is an island. So note that's feminine, but it's got the endings that look masculine. Hey Nasos. Hey Mestos, or excuse me, it's an adjective. Mestos, meste, meston means full of. Another adjective, stenos, stene, stenon, means narrow. Koluo, it's future. Koluso, that's normal. It's aorist, ekkolusa, also normal. It's perfect, kekoluka, also normal, is hinder or prevent. So it's a nice normal verb. How do you form the future? Sigma plus the present endings. How do you form the aorist? Epsilon plus your present stem plus a sigma plus the aorist endings. How do you form the perfect? The reduplication plus your stem plus a kappa plus imperfect endings. Perfect endings. Strateo. Is its future normal? Yes. Just the stem plus a sigma plus the present endings. Is its aorist normal? Yes. An epsilon plus the present stem plus a sigma plus the aorist endings. Is its perfect normal? Yes. It has a triple consonant on the front, so you just use an epsilon plus the present stem plus the kappa plus the perfect endings. Epe, adverb means when or after, and oitos is an adverb meaning at once or immediately. So let's translate here. pause the tape, try to translate all these, then I'll run through them quickly. Elaluke-san, elaluke-san. That, what tense is that? It's pluperfect. Has epsilon plus the reduplication. They had loosed. Kekaleokasi, kekaleokasi. That is perfect from kaleo, which means order. So they have ordered. Tethukas, tethukas. That is perfect. You have sacrificed. Elusan, elusan. What tense is that? Aorist. So that's they loosed. Pepika, pepika. That is perfect tense. He, she, or it has struck. Hio means struck. Ekekolukamen. Ekekolukamen. What tense is that? Pluperfect, because it's got the epsilon in front of the perfect stem. We had hindered. We had prevented. We had hindered. Lue. Ah, nice present. Lue. He, she, or it looses. Elua. Elua. It's got an augment. It's got no sigma, so that tells me we are in what tense? Imperfect. So he, she, or it was loosing. Loose, that's future. Loose, he, she, or it will loose. Elusa, elusa. Got an augment, got a sigma, that's aorist. He loosed. Leluka, that's easy. He, she, or it has loosed, that's perfect tense. Eleluke, eleluke. That's your nice pluperfect, epsilon, plus the reduplication, plus the stem, plus the kappa, plus the pluperfect endings. That's called a synopsis. Number 3 there. Lue, elua, luce, elusa, leluka, eleluke. A synopsis is where you take like third person singular, and then you run third person singular through all the tenses you know. So here he took third person singular, present tense, imperfect tense, future tense, aorist tense, perfect tense, pluperfect tense. And now a good exercise would be for you to write a synopsis in the third person plural indicative of thuo. And you can do that, and then you can check your own work. Because on page 263, right, there's all the tenses you know, written out, all, so you need to do the third person plural. Good, it's a good exercise. So it's a good way to test yourself. All right, section 130. This video is getting long already, so I'm going to do a separate video for the exercises in lesson 10. So, and in the meantime, you can work out your own answers to that and then start the next video to grade it.